Hi everyone, I'm Dale Smith, aka Journo Dale, and we're here to talk about Canadian politics. Over the next few weeks, it being election season, you're going to hear a lot of claims about things being made tax-free as part of an election platform. The problem with this is that it's not actually tax-free. One of the things that parties like to do, and the Conservatives in particular, is to offer what we call tax credits, or as we more commonly refer to them as boutique tax credits, because they're usually on very tiny marginal things that are being targeted. We used to see a lot of things around tax credit for putting your kids in art classes or sports teams or any which little thing under the sun. It was a way of trying to incentivize people well under the guise of making things tax-free. The problem is that these are non-refundable tax credits, which means that if you do not earn enough to pay enough income tax, then these credits don't actually apply to you. Why this is important is in terms of how it applies to people. They're often marketed as trying to make life more affordable for people, but the only way to get the actual maximum benefit for these is to be of a higher income class to begin with. So when you're talking about programs that are designed to help struggling people, most of the times these tax credits won't actually apply to them because they're not earning enough money to pay income tax, or even if they are, the benefits accrued to them at these for these credits don't fully realize, because being non-refundable, you have to pay a certain amount of tax before you can get that credit. If it was a refundable tax credit, as certain people have suggested for certain kinds of things, then it means that you would get that credit even if you haven't paid enough income tax. One of the other problems with non-refundable tax credits, or tax credits in general, is the way in which they're difficult for Parliament to track. Remember that Parliament's job is to keep control of the public purse, and they often do so when there are explicit expenditures on the books, such as so much money going towards certain programs, and then that money shows up in the public accounts at the end of the fiscal year, and you can track where that money went. It doesn't work that way for tax credits because they're not tracked as an expenditure. This means that it's hard for anyone to evaluate how effective any of these programs are. Did it have the intended consequence when it comes to what you are trying to incentivize with this tax credit? If it's getting kids into sports programs, it's hard to track how many times that gets used. There are other tax credits. There were things for like mining exploration tax credits. And we actually had an Auditor General's report a few years ago where he tried to find out how effective that really was. And it was really impossible to try and do that because we don't track these kinds of data. And that is concerning for anyone who's trying to make sure that Parliament is spending money wisely. Just to note in there that, because it's a tax expenditure, it's still spending. People say that, it just means you're not taking the money in, but that's kind of a cute distinction because that money is still essentially leaving the Treasury. So if you're not able to track where this money goes, or if it's effective, then that really is a problem for Parliament, because we want to make sure that things are being done as effectively as possible with the money that they're trying to, use from taxpayers. And if they can't do that, then we have to question why we are so enamored with these boutique tax credits. Part of it is that they're a rhetorical device that make it seem like they're trying to do something about a problem, or they're trying to help people out. But when you dig down and realize that it's not really having the intended effect for the people that they say it's supposed to be benefiting, then we really need to question whether those are programs that we should be encouraging or that we should be, rewarding parties for promising in the first place. And that's everything for this week. Join us again next week for some more Canadian politics. I'm Dale Smith. That's at journo_Dale on Twitter. And don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe, and support us on Patreon. Thanks, everyone.